Now, international pressure is growing on Georgia to either release Mikhail Saakashvili or to give him access to foreign medical help. Mr. Saakashvili is the country's former president. He's been serving a 6-year sentence in the capital, Tbilisi, for abuse of power, although some believe the charges are politically motivated. But his health has been deteriorating. These are images of him in 2017. And this is him now. He's currently held in a hospital in Tbilisi. Mr. Saakashvili's doctors say his ill health is due to an unhealthy diet. He has staged several hunger strikes, but there are fears that he was poisoned. Well, members of the European Parliament have met with the former president's family in Strasbourg on Tuesday, and world leaders, including the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and the French President Emmanuel Macron, have called for his release. Well, our Caucasus correspondent Rehan Dmitry gave us this update.
Well, Mikhail Saakashvili, Georgia's third president, he returned from exile after the end of his second term in 2013. He left Georgia and he was in exile for 8 years. He made a surprise return in October 2021, just on the eve of local elections here, and called for mass kind of protests and gatherings, anti-government protests. He was sentenced in absentia in 2018, so he was arrested, immediately jailed, and he went on a hunger strike, on 2 lengthy hunger strikes that really damaged his health. His lawyers are saying that he's really on the verge of dying because of his medical condition. So a few months ago, we've been following a trial that was brought by his legal team. They've asked a judge here to release Mikhail Saakashvili on health grounds. And Mikhail Saakashvili himself appeared via a video link at one of the court hearings. And when the nation saw the state he was in, people were shocked, not just in Georgia, but outside Georgia as well. His speech was impaired. He just looked like a shadow of former self. But the authorities here, and the judge presiding over that court hearing refused to release Mikhail Saakashvili on health grounds. The Georgian authorities, they have been saying that this is all kind of a simulation, self-inflicted medical conditions. And they said that he is a criminal and he has to serve his time. They accused Mikhail Saakashvili of faking it just in order to get out of jail.
The BBC's Rehan Dmitry there. Well, I'm joined now by Eduard Saakashvili, who is the son of the former Georgian president, and also by Bill Browder, a human rights campaigner and the CEO of Hermitage Capital Management. And they join us from Strasbourg, where they've been meeting members of the European Parliament. Welcome to you both. First of all, Eduard, if I can ask you, how is your father? When did you last see him?
I actually last saw him, unfortunately, in the fall because they didn't let me in when I was in Georgia in the winter. However, his condition is sort of public knowledge at this point. We've seen footage that was very disturbing from the court appearance just some weeks ago. And then now we've reached a point where even the government hospital where he's being held recently held a press conference saying his life is really in danger and his health is heading in a very, very bad direction. So we're past the point where the government is denying that he's sick. Now they are saying, yes, he is sick, his life is in danger, but, you know, we're just going to blame him for it, which is very disturbing. But at least we have some agreement now that the situation really is quite dire.
To put it in some sort of perspective, he has lost half his body weight, apparently. What is he saying to you?
I mean, to me, he's saying that you know, he really wasn't, I think he wasn't expecting that this is how he would be treated. You know, of course, imprisonment is one thing, but this is a completely different level of mistreatment and abuse. And I mean, his priority right now and in all our communications is just to find some way to bring awareness to his case, and that maybe there's a hope there that with enough awareness, with enough international attention, the Georgian government could be incentivized to do the right thing. And that's our hope. And so when somebody like President Macron or President Zelensky, at a press conference directly called for his release. That is very helpful for this cause. And, that's ultimately what this is about. It's about saving his life. And so things like that do give me some hope.
You must be very, very worried for him.
Yes, definitely. And it's difficult because there's only so much we can do. We can come to Strasbourg and hold these meetings, raise awareness, but ultimately it's up to the Georgian government, which is a black box. We don't know exactly what they're basing their decisions on. But if they don't do this, then I do fear that the outcome will be, our worst fears will be realized, and maybe quite soon.
Bill Browder, can I bring you in here? So you are helping the family in their campaign to get help for Mikhail Saakashvili. What sort of reception have you had today in Strasbourg?
Well, this is a shocking story. He was arrested in a politically motivated case. He's a former president of the country. They are torturing him. They have poisoned him, according to international doctors. This is a slow motion assassination. Anybody who sees the photos of him, anybody who gets the information about what's going on is shocked and disturbed. And this is so far beyond any bounds of civilized behavior that everybody here at the European Parliament wants to do something. And the question is, why is the Georgian government trying to kill him? And the answer is because Putin has wanted to kill him since he stood up to Putin after Russia invaded in 2008. And so this is not just Georgia being stubborn. This is Georgia being stubborn on behalf of Vladimir Putin. And it creates a very dangerous, toxic scenario where the former president of a country could be killed in a politically motivated case, and very well may be killed unless something happens quickly.
From your conversations today with MEPs, how receptive were they to putting out some sort of statement?
A statement is easy, and there's no question they're going to put out a statement. The key is, will they do more than a statement? And what we're asking for today is Magnitsky sanctions, targeted sanctions against Georgian officials who are involved in this unbelievable, unjust torture and slow motion assassination. The members of the European Parliament are all in favor of that. And the question is, can we get that done quickly enough so it has an effect and gets him treated or out of prison?
I mean, I have to put this to you. It has been maintained by the authorities in Georgia that because Mr. Saakashvili has been on hunger strikes, several hunger strikes, this is why he has lost so much weight and is in such ill health.
Well, the medical experts say that the reason he's in such ill health is because he's been poisoned. They found heavy metals, traces of arsenic in his system. The medical professionals are highly credible Western recognized doctors who have written the report. I don't think anybody at this point believes the Georgian version of events.
Eduard, if I can just ask you, so Bill Browder is talking about sanctions, economic sanctions. Such things take time, and the way you've spoken, there isn't very much time. What do you want to happen?
Yeah, there isn't very much time, and I think, I think there needs to be a situation in which the urgency of this is just made very, very clear and stark to the Georgian government that because ultimately, we've spoken about how this is a politically motivated case. They can cloak it all in judicial language, but the decision, if they make the decision to release him, it's going to be a political decision. So the question is, what can we do to make that decision likelier and to make it sort of more unavoidable? So I think any level of awareness, we've had several resolutions already here in the European Parliament. I think those things do help move us in that direction. But yeah, it's more urgent than that maybe. And there's a question of time. I don't know.
OK. Thank you both very much indeed for talking to us. That's Eduard Saakashvili and Bill Browder. Thank you.